The Expert Show with local celebrity hosts Steve-O and Renee. Sit back each week while Steve-O and Renee educate you with live in-studio experts, such as lawyers, doctors, home improvement, and financial experts in their field. Call in and have your questions answered each week at 888-565-1470. Now, here is Steve-O and Renee with today's expert in their field.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Ask the Experts. You thought I was going to say something else, too, didn't you?
No.
I've done it before.
Just read your notes.
We have the finest show in South Florida. We bring in the top experts in their field.
We do, yeah.
Like today. Oh, we've got the big Macher. Okay. With Rosh Hashanah coming up, okay.
Just say it right.
Anyhow, if you would like to watch today's show, actually you can go to our first guest website. And they actually have two websites. The first one is TJ?
No,
TC.
TC Jaguar. Let me help you along. TCJaguar.com.
Or TCLandRover.com.
Right.
You've got two websites now.
Got two websites now, Steve.
They're beautiful now, too, by the way.
Thank you.
We went to it today. We have the general manager of Jaguar Land Rover of Treasure Coast in studio today. They are out of Fort Pierce. Let me tell you something. We cover all of Broward and all of Palm Beach County. If you want a beautiful, I love your cars. Especially the Jaguar.
Me too.
If you want,
I like saying Jaguar.
Can I say they could probably get a better deal because you're in Fort Pierce?
I could say this, Steve-O. They're going to be treated with kid gloves. And yeah, I think part of the deal is just not what you spend on the car. Mm-hmm. It's how you're handled and how you're treated.
I agree with that. I would agree with you. Absolutely.
Exactly. Listen, don't just shop around in Broward and Palm Beach when you've got this great dealership.
Worth the trip.
In Fort Pierce. So, hey, welcome to the show.
You know, it seems like a year since I've been here.
It does.
It's only a few weeks ago.
Only a few weeks ago, yes.
And we have so many people who've got a little guilt.
Yes.
See, I'm getting ready for Rosh Hashanah now.
Okay, so if you have a question for General Manager Larry Tabloff, you could call us at 888-565-1470.
Today, it's so crummy outside. It was really nice of you to drive up.
Let me tell you something.
Drive up or drive down?
Driving down, and the rain was coming down.
So tell us where Jaguar is located of Treasure Coast.
Jaguar is up north there in Fort Pierce. It's on the corner of US 1 and Midway Boulevard. It's about 45 minutes from the West Palm Beach area, about an hour from the Boca area.
And your dealership is part of the Greco Automotive Group.
It's part of the Greco Automotive Group, which is down here in Florida, and we have other stores up in Rhode Island called the Metro Motor Group. So we align roughly about 11 stores now from Ford, Fiat, Volkswagen, Jaguar, Land Rover, 2 Mazda stores here in Florida, and a Kia store.
Greco's big.
No kidding. Especially in Delray, too.
Delray is their store. They have the Mazda Kia store there, as well as we have a new North Palm Beach store scheduled to open right around November 1st for Mazda.
Mazda, okay.
Wow. Okay, so give everybody a little background on your dealership.
Our dealership has been in business roughly about 7 or 8 years. They were owned by another organization out of Chicago. We took that store over in November. I became the general manager in June of this year, and I got to say this, it's a beautiful facility. If people want to come and enjoy and see just a beautiful facility, where you walk in, it's warm, it's got a nice atmosphere. We got a beautiful piano playing the songs that they want.
I love that. That's great.
We kind of changed it up because I got a little tired of that slow music. So we put a little Beatles White Album, a little Billy Joel, a little Elton John. So, we're starting to get back to where some of the people that we have to do business with.
So it's a happening place
It's a happening place.
I got to tell you, every time we see the Jaguar F-Type, the convertible,
that's my favorite. It is.
That is the hottest car. That's a wow car.
That's a sleek-looking car.
And, I have to say this to our audience out there, whether you are in the market for that car or not, you have to take the time. Do yourself a favor. You got to go to a Jaguar store and drive it. We just had an event yesterday, a casino night. I had 7 of our F-Types lined up outside our store. Everything.
Oh,
We had from Italian Racing Red, the black, the blue. I had from 340 horsepower hardtops to the 550 horsepower hardtops to my 495 horsepower vertibles. And I got to tell you something. We took people on a ride along Hutchinson Island, and letting them drive those cars. And a couple people that were actually Porsche enthusiasts came, and they got out of their car.
And now they want Jaguars.
I looked at their faces, and I felt like I was looking at Jack Nicholson from Batman with that smile after he got burnt.
I love
because
that.
I got to tell you something, and a great story. I just got to say this: we had a lady last Saturday. Her husband came in with his wife. They're from New York. I recognized them from a couple weeks earlier. They brought their granddaughters in to look at a coupe. And the wife is just looking at this red F-Type I have on the floor. It's a coupe, and she's looking at it. I finally said, Marcy, let's take it for a test drive. I stopped looking at this, and you're gawking at it. Well, I don't know. I got the car outside off the floor, put it in the car. She goes, I really don't think this is going to work. I said, Marcy, get in the car. We started the car up. I had my salesman go with her. They were gone for about 20 minutes. She came back.
And bought it?
She
And
comes
bought
back.
two.
She comes back. She opens up this door. Listen, she's all of 5'2", and soaking wet. She's maybe 110 pounds, 105 pounds. Gets out of that car like the Jack in the Box and goes, "Wow, this is the real deal." I mean, her eyes were popping. Her mouth was going. She was drooling.
not that you didn't know that was going to happen once you got her in the car.
It's well, when they're looking at other cars, our competition in the BMW world, or even the Lexus world, they don't have this car. She's comparing it to the Porsche, and it's a great.
And what's
competitor.
the difference between? Because I know, I mean,
You know
different
what? You know what
luxury
it is?
cars.
I'm going to say this to you. It's really the personal preference of the consumer.
Right.
Their butt's got to get in the seat. Their hand's got to get on the wheel. Only that will tell you the feeling of the tuchus,
Yes.
the feeling of your
And
hands.
why are you pointing to me?
You understand that.
Yes.
The macho here. Yeah, okay.
Listen, I think he understands
he has
tuchus.
he has no clue what you're talking about half the time, but that's okay. But by the time we get into this and they drive it,
It's impressive.
it does itself.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people. It's really not what a salesman's going to tell you. Go look at the cars, whether it be a Jaguar or a Range Rover, whether it's any maker model. You will know if you like the car.
Right.
Okay, give yourself a chance to look at some brands, look at the interiors, look at the structures. That's all it is. I mean, you say ask the expert. Yeah, we could talk about some different things, but it's really about you, the consumer, that's going to have to find out what you really like and do your research. The research on the Jaguar and the Land Rover says itself
I
today.
got to say, the Land Rover, I told you this last time. There are so many people you see it on TV. 'Cause
All the celebrities are driving that.
I mean, they can have any car they
Right,
want.
exactly.
And they're choosing the Land Rover. In fact, down here in the parking lot, there's two of them right down here right now.
There were 3 or 4 that I saw today. Okay.
What did you drive up in today?
I drove an F-Type convertible. So you talk about these things. Why a Land Rover, okay, or why the Range Rover? Last Sunday, I took 10 of our customers out into Okeechobee on a 435-acre farm, and we went off-roading. Now, I haven't done the off-roading before, but this is my first time, and I had the beautiful ability to have my wife there too, because she's the old cheerleader that she was, and she still is. So she goes, rah rah rah, go Larry, and she's biting her nails, and we're going through this stuff and bouncing all over the place.
And it handles the roads.
Oh, well, let me
So they're
tell you.
four-wheel drive?
Listen, Steve. You can go up to 4 foot of water. These things you can go on a 45-degree angle when you're driving. If people like to off-road or people are looking for safety, let me tell you, you're never gonna get hurt with a Range Rover because of all of the aspects this car can do. You all got to remember, this car has been in Africa for how many years?
That's true.
Right. That's
Okay,
right.
it's going through the most difficult terrains in the world. You put these things in mountains and mud and anything you want. The rain that we just had here, you get roads flooded. You're
Right,
not
it
gonna-
can handle the streets of Boca.
it can handle the street. Absolutely. It's just a phenomenal vehicle. So, for those of you who want to do off-road events or come do off-road, give me a call. I've got a lot of great areas out in Fort Pierce, whether it be farms or hunting clubs, all the different ranches that will allow us to go out there and do some marvelous off-roading. It's
in.
wonderful. I know, it's wonderful.
I love that.
I
Yeah,
can just stare,
absolutely.
Just stare and look at the car. You know what's so great about your dealership is you guys give back. And I think, you always hear about, we're bringing money in, we're making sales, sales are wonderful, but no one ever talks about what are you doing for the community, and you guys go overboard when it comes to doing things for the community.
Well, I think that goes again, it comes from a culture, just not what I believe in, but, why I came to work for the Greco family, if you go and you look at what the Grecos have done, we talked about this last time, they're all about giving back to the community
Which is wonderful.
Whether it be pets or any of the different charities that are listed on our Metro Motor Group website. And that's being spearheaded by Mrs. Greco, okay, Mike Greco Sr.'s wife. And I got to tell you something, it's wonderful. From our standpoint down here in the Florida market, in the Fort Pierce, the Treasure Coast market, what we have decided to do, we have a huge event coming up with the Castle organization. Castle, again, we talked about, it's nonprofit. It's about support for abused children. October 9th, we have an event for the donors. They'll come in. It's a donor appreciation night. We'll then do their whole Christmas party November 22nd. They get to utilize our facility.
Nice.
What was even better is last night at casino night, we had one of the caterers
That sounds like fun, by the way.
Oh, let me tell you, we had 65 people there, and people would think normally, no offense, we are up north, and sometimes we're in a little bit sleepier bedroom communities where we have a little older clientele where you think normally by 5 or 6 o'clock they're sleeping. But let me tell you, we had them going.
They like to party up there?
Let me tell you something. Well, I made sure I didn't have the martinis or beer flow, and I had to give them the Sprite and the Coke. I made sure we put some caffeine going in there to keep people awake.
Red Bull.
Plenty of coffee. The Red Bull's next time. But seriously, we love to give back to the community, and when we do November 22nd with Castle, we're going to create a winter wonderland in our store. Literally a winter wonderland.
So November 22nd, what time is this going to start?
Well, it's an invitation. They have to call me, but I can get them in.
And we'll accept. We'd love to attend, yes.
I would love to have you come up. I think you would absolutely love it. On top of that, what we are doing, we're going to be doing a wedding, a birthday party for a very well-to-do family up in the Vero Beach Market. They came to the event yesterday, and they chose our venue because they looked at our venue as something very different, and they said, can we use your venue for my wife's 40th birthday party?
How nice.
And I said, absolutely. And I want people to think about this out there, that if they're looking for something very different, think about what you can do. If you saw the facility that we have, and I'm opening it up to you, the public, to contact me or go through an event planner, what we can do is you can create this unique feel of a party, of an event that you can not only have in a car, we can create with these unique sports cars in the showroom or and about, but more than that, we'll put you on the Range Rover track in the back. So before you go and party and have a cocktail or two, we'll put you out in a Rover and put you through our track where you're going to go through the water. You're going to go through 45-degree angles. We have a special track in the back.
The hill that's like
yes, we do. And think about what y'all can do, people out there. This is fun. This is different. This is what it's about. And we're more than happy to help and give back in that way. It's wonderful.
That's a great idea. Why don't you give your phone number out? That would be helpful.
The number at the store is 772-293-0400. Ask for extension 1505. Just tell me if I'm not there. Leave me a message that you heard what you heard about on the show today. Absolutely.
We're going to go to break right now, and I hope Freddie will show some of the vehicles, the Jaguars. Oh, I love that car.
They're magnificent. They really are.
The Land Rover, the Range Rover. And when we come back, we have more with... I think this is like kind of becoming like one of our favorite guests now. He's just so... You got the greatest personality. You were so meant for this. Larry Tabloff, the general manager of Jaguar and Land Rover of Treasure Coast. We will be right back.
36-month leases, $89.95 due at signing, 0 security deposit, plus tax, tag, title fees, and first month's payment. With approved credit, expires month end.
Want the best in luxury? Get it all at Jaguar Treasure Coast.
Visit the all-new Jaguar Treasure Coast and let us exceed your expectations. Just a short drive from Palm Beach, and you'll find amazing selection, service, and surprising savings. Brand new Jaguars from $599 a month compared to the average cost of a luxury Acura, BMW, Lexus, or Mercedes. Jaguars will exceed your expectations. Lease a 2014 Jaguar XJ, $799 a month, or drive the sensational 2014 F-Type convertible, only $599 a month. Drive the best from Jaguar Treasure Coast and experience extraordinary luxury and service for less. Easy to get to from Palm Beach. Visit us in beautiful Fort Pierce or online at tcjaguar.com. That's tcjaguar.com.
I'm Mike Greco from Jaguar Treasure Coast. Will exceed your expectations, I guarantee it.
And we're back. We're having so much fun here talking to the general manager of Jaguar Land Rover of Treasure Coast. That's a mouthful.
It really is.
Yeah,
So why don't
Larry
we talk
Tabloff.
about leasing versus paying cash for a vehicle?
That sounds great. Many people come into our stores and want to know how should I buy my car? And mind you, we have some clients that obviously have all kinds of money that can pay. They'll pay cash if they want, or they'll finance, they'll lease. So, you have to ask people really what they want to do. But more importantly, I think it's up to us. Sometimes people forget or don't realize that paying cash for a car, I know they don't want to have debt. If they can afford to finance a car, if they're going to buy a car and keep it, but they can afford to finance it today and you've got good credit, there's really no reason whatsoever to pay cash for a car. Let's be fair to say, and I'm honest about things, and that's what I think has helped me in this business. A car is a depreciated asset. You walk out of that car, I always ask people, I said, do you like ice cream? It's the first question I ask them.
Do you like ice
Do you
cream?
like ice cream? And the first thing they say is yes. I said, what happens when you take ice cream out in hot sun?
It melts.
It melts.
Right.
So when you
Was
take
this a test?
well, you did really well. You were hesitant, both of you, just so you know. So what happens is when you take that car that you have purchased out of my showroom or out of any showroom, it depreciates. It melts immediately.
Yeah.
So why would I want to pay cash for a depreciated asset?
That's a good point.
I tell them, if you've got excellent credit today, the rates that you can, from a subvented rate of a 2.9, a 2%, some people are even getting 1.9, as high, maybe as high
Is
as
it that
3.9.
low now?
Yeah, and
Wow.
on some of the banks. Why wouldn't you take a loan, pay it off, and at any time, if you feel that you want to pay the car off, you pay it off without penalty. There's no per diem. There's no penalty to pay it off. Take advantage of keeping the cash in your pocket. There's no reason not to do that.
And most people, after a few years, want to trade the
I
car
was
in
gonna say,
anyway
how
for a
often
newer
should
model.
someone trade their
So
car
now,
in?
now you're going to go back but if some people want to keep their car for 6-7 years. Got it. That's good.
Most people don't.
Well,
right?
some people do. A lot
Yeah.
of people will. But if you like your a new car every 3 years, and you're driving 7,500 to 12,000 miles, the other option is to lease a car. Why in the world would I buy a car if I'm going to trade it in every 3 years? I've been in this business a long time. I don't buy cars. I will lease my cars because every 3 years my wife is going to say, I want a new car. Okay? And
I agree with your wife.
She's told me every two.
Well, keep on going. You really want to get me in trouble.
It's called
Okay?
payback.
She just said every year, by the way.
Oh, she did?
Payback, so you know what,
Yes,
Steve. So, but the bottom line is, I try to explain to people. Matter of fact, I had a couple again last night at the event, and we sat and talked. And he really didn't think about leasing. He drives only 7,500 miles a year. I said, why would you have bought your car for cash if you want a new car every 3 years?
Because people think they're getting a better deal that
They're
way.
not. Leasing is the best way to, number one, the flexibility of getting another vehicle. Number two, you got to think about this. If you want a new vehicle and to keep it under warranty, you're going to probably keep it under warranty the entire time. I ask people one question. It's a very simple question. When and if they want to buy a car, I'm okay with that. But if they want to go every 3 years, but they're still buying a car, I said, why would you do that? I said, and if they're going to take a loan every 3 years, again, that doesn't make sense. Because let's be clear, when you buy a car through finance or you lease a car, who owns the car? Who owns the car? It's not you, it's the bank.
Exactly.
Okay, so I would rather every 3 years I'll rent or lease my car, turn it in, it's under
And
miles.
the service agreement's over
You
after
don't
3
have to
years
worry,
anyway.
You don't even have to worry. No, you got a 4 year. You got a
for
4,
if you purchase a car?
you got a 4 year, 50,000 mile full factory warranty as part of this car. So when you lease a car, you really have your obligation in terms of maintenance is just general maintenance.
Right.
And anyhow, the first service that you do at our store is free. So most of the
Service
time,
meaning oil change,
your
tire
first,
rotation.
your first service period.
Right.
And it's about every 10,000 miles. So you may have 2 services the entire time. So people will say, what is my responsibility on a lease?
Virtually nothing.
The only you have to maintain your car
Right.
according to what the owner's manual states. Let me be clear what the owner's manual states. So for all of us who get vehicles that we say we don't understand what to do, all you have to do is take 10 minutes, pull out that owner's manual. It states it right there. Number 2, you have to replace the tires if they are wear. That's really the only thing you're going to be responsible for. And plus the fact you get $1,000 of true wear and tear coverage, meaning paint and things and dongs and stuff like that. But tires are things you're going to have to be responsible
Right.
for. Nothing more, nothing less. People need to understand. If they don't understand it, please ask the question and make sure the dealership explains it to you, because I think that's where things go wrong. I don't think half the dealer personnel really understand leasing, and that's a problem.
How often do you need to change the tires to purchase new tires?
Well,
after how much mileage
realistically,
usually?
we say you should oil change your car every 10,000 miles.
Right.
You should rotate and balance your cars every 5,000 miles to get your best wear and tear. You got to think about the roads we have out here, guys. We have hot environment, but our roads are made with asphalt and crushed seashell, and the seashell is a rough on the tires. You know, if you have most of our tires are V-rated or soft-rated tires for a better ride. So you're going to get 20, 25,000 miles on those tires. You may get 30, but most of the time you're probably going to get 20 to 25,000 miles. On a sedan or a sports car like an F-Type, you may get less. It's a very soft rubber. And again, if a dealer doesn't explain it to you, shame on them. There's no reason you should be surprised at all when you buy a car and maintain it.
This kind of leads me up to my next question. Say I'm in Boca, or which we are, or I'm in Fort Lauderdale, or I'm in Aventura, and I want to buy a new Land Rover, or I want to buy a new Jaguar. Why should they do business with Larry Tabloff versus Boca, Fort Lauderdale? I don't care. Listen, this is an honest show, and you got to tell it like it is. You got a big audience, so you're on.
You know, Steve, people ask me that question, and I'm just honest. You got me out here.
You're in Fort Pierce now, okay?
I'm in Fort Pierce, but here's the difference. I'm a general manager of a dealership. I'm on the floor with my salesman. I'm on the floor with my customers. I don't hide behind a door. I never will. I don't hide behind anything. I will take it on just like anybody else, like my salesman. If people have questions and people want to talk about different things, I'm available. I have never, ever shunned. And I know people out there today that have bought cars today or in the past will tell you the horror stories. I heard it today, flat out. I picked up a woman at her home and drove her to my store because she was buying a new Range Rover.
So you personally went in and picked her up?
I personally picked her up.
That's impressive. That really is.
Hold on. Her husband is a very successful man, a CEO of a company. He's busy. And I said, listen, I'll pick your wife up. It's right down by where I live, and I'm an hour from my store. And I said, I'll take her. And we sat and we talked about the cars and different things. But more importantly, I explained about the use of the car as we were going up there. And she really appreciated it. She goes, you know, I won't do business at XYZ because of this. She goes, as a matter of fact, we went out to look at another vehicle. They were looking at a Jeep because they have a place up in Boston or up on what's along to the Cape. And she goes, okay, that's correct. They have a place up in the Cape. And they went to another store, and she goes, Larry, what we went through was ridiculous. When we went to buy the car and we agreed on the price of the car, we were paying cash, which again I don't agree with. But the dealership said, oh, if you're going to pay cash, your price is not what we agreed to because you have to finance with us to get that price.
Wow.
That is wrong. And I get a very sick feeling in my stomach. A sick feeling in my stomach when I hear these type of things, because these are very well-to-do, successful people. You just can't play the games. These games got to be ended. A good dealer with true ethics,
a reputable
dealer will never do that. You know, Dad always said something to me: the fish stinks from the head down. And if that's the way they're thinking, from the top, it goes filters down to everybody else, that's just wrong. I will not stand for that. One iota. If that comes across from one of my customers or one of my salespeople, it doesn't work for me. They don't work for me. Very ethical. Been taught that way. I run a store for a very ethical family, very ethical group. And if they heard this, I got to tell you something. I would not be employed there at all.
I've read the story about the family on your website, and it's truly a remarkable story. You must go to their website. It is, you've got everything you'd possibly need to know. And I love what they did with the website. Your webmasters did an incredible job.
And you can also view the cars in there as well.
Yes.
So now you also do pre-owned cars too. You have a pre-owned service.
Yeah, we do. We have we have about 40 or 50 pre-owned cars on our lot, and
Are they all Jaguars, Land Rovers, or additional types of luxury
we have
cars?
Jaguars and Land Rovers and other makes and models. But our primary focus will always be on our core product, which is the Jag and Land Rover, and we'll normally have them certified, because the certified warranty, unlike the other factories, when you certify the warranty or the car, that warranty is it's only from the manufacturer warranty. It's the same warranty as you get on a new car. Meaning
That's great.
It wraps around. It's the same warranty, same coverage. And what's interesting, but people need to understand again, don't be afraid of a 2011.
And you could lease a pre-owned vehicle as well.
You can't, but we're looking into those options. I really don't want to go there right now. But you need to remember one thing. Don't be afraid of these cars. An 11, a 12, or a 13. And many times, if I would take a 13 over a new car, why? A 13 with 20,000 miles or a 12 with 20,000 miles, you're still going to get 80,000 miles additional plus 4 years or 4.5 years. So if you get a 4.5 year coverage and 80,000 miles, you're only getting 450 on a new car. So you got to start to think about some things. Okay, that's quite a deal,
bro. I can't wait for you to come back next month. Larry's going to.
I know the time goes so fast with him.
It's unbelievable. I looked at the clock and it was like 10 after, and next time I looked.
Well, give your phone number out again, your address.
So if you want to get in touch with me, you can call me at 772-293-0400 extension 1505. You can go to our website at www.tcjaguar.com.
Jaguar.
Or www.tclandrover.com.
And you know what? You can actually go back and watch our show today on your website now. That's really cool.
Yes.
So you can go back
on the homepage, right? It's on the homepage.
I don't know if it's on the homepage. I think it's on.
Contact us.
It's somewhere in. I watch it. They got a big screen on there, and it talks about the show. Larry's going to be back with us again next month. We'll let you know what the date is. Bro, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on, Larry.
It's always my pleasure. I enjoy it. You two make it fun, and
thank you.
It's a great time.
Yeah, maybe we'll see him Sunday. That's all we can say.
You know what the L. Roker says? Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Okay, Larry, stop it. Enough. Okay, we are going to go to break, and when we come back, we've got one of the top hearing aid and hearing loss audiologists in South Florida on our show.
Perfect.
We'll be right back.
36-month leases, $89.95 due at signing, 0 security deposit, plus tax, tag, title fees, and first month's payment. With approved credit, expires month end.
Want the best in luxury? Get it all at Jaguar Treasure Coast.
Visit the all-new Jaguar Treasure Coast and let us exceed your expectations. Just a short drive from Palm Beach, and you'll find amazing selection, service, and surprising savings. Brand new Jaguars from $599 a month, compared to the average cost of a luxury Acura, BMW, Lexus, or Mercedes. Jaguars will exceed your expectations. Lease a 2014 Jaguar XJ, $799 a month, or drive the sensational 2014 F-Type convertible, only $599 a month. Drive the best from Jaguar Treasure Coast and experience extraordinary luxury and service for less. Easy to get to from Palm Beach. Visit us in beautiful Fort Pierce.